was so excited when I was told Senator Clinton and I would be addressing you tonight.
Are you ready?
Iona's Mass Communications Department has 4 concentrations: advertising, journalism, public relations, and broadcast media. I'm here interviewing female students in the Mass Comm department to talk about differences between female and male students in Mass Comm.
I just love being a broadcast student here. I just love the family aspect of it, but in the perspective of being a woman, being like on the 3rd floor, like of Murphy, where everything is, you do see a lot less women than you do men. But I think it's just the industry itself.
Being a broadcast media major and a woman at Iona is something that I think is a little scarce. There definitely are much more men in the field, I feel.
When men go into it, they hold the stereotype that they're going into sports broadcasting or other fields. And I think for women, most people think that they're going into public relations fields.
I feel like I tell people I'm a journalism major, and they're like, oh, so like you want to be like on the news? No, I don't. I chose journalism for other reasons.
A lot of people look at me, they're like, oh, like broadcast, so you want to be on air? And I'm like, no, I want to be in charge.
And like most of the executives in advertising are men, so it's like kind of weird. So for me, because I'm always in like a leader position, so like I want to be an executive one day, and like most of them are men, so it's definitely difficult.
Once you say that you're interested in sports, people kind of like look at you weird, like you're a girl who likes sports. Like that's kind of like not a thing. It's more of like a male dominant thing.
The stereotype and the expectation is if you're a woman in journalism, then you gotta look the part. You have to have beautiful hair and your makeup done, maybe be blonde, like nice and thin. I feel like there's a lot of pressure on like physical appearance.
I think people, a lot of times when I would say I'm thinking of doing sports broadcasting, people are like, oh, if you're attractive, like you don't really have to know what you're talking about, and you can read the teleprompter and people will tell you in your ear what's going on. So I definitely think people take being attractive as having less knowledge about what you're really doing.
They do get favored just in the sports alone here, since Iona is just so big on sports.
So, as a female student, I do feel like I have to try harder in order to get recognition for the hard work that I've done. Well, I had a class with this other student. He was a male, and the teacher loved him, and he was very involved with like the Mass Comm clubs on campus. I felt like this male student was adored by this professor. I mean, this professor would praise him constantly. He'd get called out in class for what he did with the Ionian, or what he did with ICTV, or what he did with this event. Meanwhile, me, I was interning, and I never got like a pat on my back, like, good job, look at what Christina's doing. And to be honest, I felt like I didn't get any recognition or approval in this professor's eyes until I started to kiss their ass. And it like really sucks.
You see a little bit of the differences. A lot of women that I am peers with, like, I see have to prove themselves in certain ways. And a lot of the guys or professors sometimes try to take over. Not necessarily meaning it in a bad way, it's just the notion of believing that like a girl can't do it, or like I'm not able to do the job, and they just think that they can make it better when in reality they may have ruined our vision for a certain project or a certain idea.
When working with groups, I've realized that for the most part the women really take the lead on doing the in front of the camera work and really putting the pieces together or talking to people and communicating, whereas in the boys maybe will volunteer to do the editing or work the cameras. I definitely think the women do more of the research as well, and like look up the facts to make sure that they're prepared for interviews and definitely stuff.
Because I don't try to be a teacher's pet, I just try to be real and work hard and do what I gotta do. I shouldn't have to suck up in order to feel like a a teacher liked me as a student.
And I definitely feel like that bias is there a little bit, and that the women in my classes have to try just a tad harder than the males to just get the attention of someone.
It's a very, very male-dominated like profession. So is broadcasting as a whole, and like everyone like expects like the guy to be always the one who knows everything more than the women. So I think that's definitely like kind of like held me back a little bit.